Here's a terrific tip for Liberal politicians, maybe not only them either, because they have to deal with this kind of rubbish all the time. You know, I love it when someone takes on one of those journalists who just go with the vibe, they don't think it through, they don't do research, they just assume that everyone thinks like they and their mates do, because, you know, don't all their friends think alike? And they're smug with it, don't forget that. Now, let me show you now what Elon Musk did when he was interviewed yesterday by a BBC journalist, their Silicon Valley correspondent, totally of the left, totally sure the world's richest man must be a fool, and totally sure that Musk was now ruining Twitter after buying it last year. Watch this clip that's going viral and learn how to deal with a smart Alec. I better say Alec.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
you
don't.
Can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you said
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
my
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet, and yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's false.
No, what I claimed.
You just lied.
What? No.
Love it. Joining me is Sky News presenter James Macpherson of The Late Debate here on Sky at 10 p.m, so stick around, and Alexandra Marshall, political commentator and online editor for The Spectator Australia. Did you enjoy that, Alexandra?
This is one of my favourite clips in ages, because this journalist, I mean, talk about slightly incompetent is what happened here. He interviewed one of the smartest men in the world living right now, and he didn't have these facts in a line about the guy's actual company, which obviously Elon Musk is an expert in his own company, and he's a very smart guy at that. And if you were to look at that interview and you knew nothing about who was there, you would think Elon Musk is the interviewer, because what he did is he started questioning the BBC journalist, which is a fatal mistake. And look, I could have given him examples of hate speech being a woman online trolled by the left, but this guy clearly just took the hashtag and thought he could get away with it.
Oh, but it's that invincible ignorance, that smugness, despite not knowing what they're actually talking about. And honestly, you could name a whole list of ABC journalists as long as my two arms, and they'd be of the same sort.
This BBC journalist clearly imagined Musk as some evil cartoon character, and so he took a water gun to a gunfight, and Musk destroyed him with 4 simple words: give me an example. And the lesson here is, don't simply answer the question you're asked, challenge the assumption behind the question you're asked, because so often, especially with leftist media, there's an assumption that is quite brittle if you dare to challenge it. It's a great lesson for all Conservative politicians.
That is so correct. Like one of the things that I really shocked the left when I started to say the stolen generations is wildly exaggerated, okay? I mean, our courts have not found a single one, even though in schools they were taught 100,000 children were stolen from their parents just because of Aboriginal, not because of danger. 100,000. And I've said it for a decade, name 10. It drives them crazy. No one's met that challenge. That's what you need to do. Just give me specifics.
That's because ideology is the enemy of politics. So you don't want facts, because if you've got facts,
that's it.
Then you can't have an ideological movement, because ideology is very much like a religion or a cult. And so if you've got a fact that dispels the ideology, then what happens to the left? What are they going to say? Their narrative is social media is full of hate speech, therefore Twitter must be deconstructed. If that's not true, then what's their argument against Twitter? free speech then might become a good thing, and the left does not want free speech to be a good thing or for Elon Musk to succeed.